We start up a little bit early. We're going to soon be on Facebook as well. I'm Alice Lara. Soon to join me is my partner in radio, online network crime, George Ortiz, Don Jorge. So be patient with us, if you will, for just another moment. And we'll be on for the Chips and Salsa Show, the very first one of 2020. And we need to start, we're going to start kind of try to do things more organized and more sophisticated. And it is January 2nd, the first show of 2020. I'm ready to start Facebook. Ready? And we're starting up now on Facebook. Okay, it's time for the Chips and Salsa Show. I'm Alice Lara here with Don Jorge.
Don Jorge, I'm here.
The other guy had to sneak back.
Had to sneak in over here.
He's our camera guy. Normally we have our intern.
I know, Super Sarah, and
Super Sarah.
she's at doing her Christmas thing, and she'll be back with us next week. And we'll have the whole crew here. Plus, we're going to have some surprises. We're going to have whiteboards and all kinds of goodies that we're planning, and you're going to love the show starting next week with a new. You want to announce it?
With a new time. So first of all, I should tell you, the Chips and Salsa Show, if you just are brand new and you just tuned in, we are the Chips and Salsa Show, Alice Lara, George Ortiz, Don Jorge.
Don Jorge, el alacrán.
And the reason that we exist, the Chips and Salsa Show, we've completed 5 years. We're in our number 6 year.
We're going towards the 6th year.
6 is because we exist to bust the myth. Just because you're brown doesn't mean you're Democrat. We are Republicans. We are. So we do political talk. We have cocotazos, which means like the boo-boos of the world. And we have whole enchiladas, the great stories, positive stories. We do a lot of community service organizations, things like that. We're based in Phoenix, and we have guests all the time. Tonight, we may have a guest. He might pop in. If not, he'll be on a future one. I don't want to tease him yet because he's a good surprise.
And also, we're taping here at the People's House, the Republican State Headquarters, thanks to our gracious guest host, which is the chairman, Dr. Kelly Ward, and her staff who allow us to tape here our Thursday evening show, which will be starting, of course, like Alice said, at 5 p.m. Arizona time. So we'll be hitting the East Coast a little earlier so that more East Coast listeners can listen to us and catch us live rather than watching us post. A lot of them follow our post that we our blog, our post blog. But
what's a post blog?
Well, I don't know.
I know what you mean. I'm giving you our time.
Anyway, our posted shows or whatever. But our Tuesday shows already starts at 5 p.m.
So yeah, we wanted to be consistent.
Yeah, this will line up with our Tuesday show so that everybody knows we start at 5 p.m. Phoenix time.
So you can always just come to this Facebook site, Chips Letter N Salsa Show, and watch us. You can also go on Tuesday. We're back at our original home. That's Central City Radio. And Julian Allison, the owner and creator, has created a talk branch of it called Talk Central Phoenix, right? I got that right. Talk Central Phoenix. So that's Tuesday at 5.
Yep.
This is Thursday at 5.
And there's going to be more surprises. There's going to be more surprises coming up. We're going to try to tape at some rallies. We're going to try to tape post blogs up during the week. There's going to be a lot of Chips and Salsa on the air. So this is election year. It's a very important year. We want to elect our president, Donald Trump. We want to re-elect him for another term. And a lot of people running in the Republican Party here in Arizona, we want to accent their candidacies. We're going to have them on the show. We're going to introduce them. If you haven't met them already, we're going to introduce them on the show so you can follow some of their ideas of what they want to do in their if they win as a candidate.
George, I want to tell you, coming up, we've booked some of January already. We've got to get back in the groove, but we have Sheriff Joe is going to be with us.
Okay.
Also, we are also going to have Jose Borajero next week will be on our show.
Okay.
And Jose Borajero, he's more of a local guy. He is very, very active at the state legislative part, and he can explain the request to speak to help you as just a regular citizen get more involved with your Arizona state government. Even if you don't live in Arizona, you'll still find these interesting because in your own state you have similar programs.
And you just go online. All you do is go online from your home and sent in a request to speak. Sent in there's a certain way
If you live in Arizona.
and the bills that are coming up before the House and the state legislators here in Arizona, and he'll educate you and all that. And there's certain websites that he'll tune you into. Other than that, this is going to be a busy year. We're going to be very busy, and we're planning ahead. We're going to make this a very interesting site for you to come and post on, watch us, and pass it to your friends, share it with your friends. We're going to increase our YouTube presence. We're going to increase our Facebook presence and social media presence. You're going to see a lot of us. We're going to try to help you be more informed. Plus, we'll get informed too, because we'll be learning the facts and then shooting them back right to you. There's a lot of things happening this year. There's a primary, there's a general, there's a preferential election for the Democrats. It's going to be interesting to see who they elect here in Arizona to represent them here from Arizona and for the president to run against Trump. We still...
That's coming up in March, isn't it?
Yeah, and by then there'll be a handful of dropouts today.
Julian Castro dropped out today.
Julian Castro dropped out. I would like to see more Latinos run, and more people that represent different other races run. But to see him drop out, the front runners, they're just the front runners. You got Biden, you got Bernie Sanders, you got Warren, Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas, I like to call her Pocahontas, or Creepy Joe, or Socialist Bernie.
Yeah, they've all got names.
There's a whole slew of Democratic wackos running, but hey, we'll watch it very closely, because
If you were a Democrat and you had to vote for somebody, who would you vote for?
I wouldn't vote for the ones running right now.
Is there any?
I would
no,
want
but
somebody.
if all the candidates and you would have to vote, would you vote for
I
anybody?
don't know. It's really hard, because Castro was wanting reparations, and to me, that's way out on the
Yeah,
limb.
but he's out. He's out.
I know, but if he would have stayed, I probably wouldn't have voted for him, because I just don't like his view on a lot of things. Even though he is a Latino, but there's people that gotta be more Democrats out there that stand for the people.
Well, and then, we're not Democrats, so we don't have to worry about
we're
that.
not
'Cause we're
socialists.
Republicans.
You have to be actually socialist minded to vote for any of those people. They all raised their hands when they said that would they what was it
Benefits for illegals, or
every time they talked about a socialist program, they all raised their hands. So it's like the only one. Oh, I would vote for the one from Hawaii. What's her name? Gillibrand?
Tulsi Gabbard.
Is that her name?
It was Tulsi Gabbard, I think. Yeah,
Yeah, she's still in the race.
she's still in the race.
I would have voted for her.
She sounds pretty reasonable.
She's the one that's
Well,
a little bit away from this, really, the fringe. And that's why they've pushed her away, because she doesn't follow lockstep with them. So that's about the only
But
one that,
she's
if I was
not
a
a
Democrat, I
front
would.
runner either, so it's going to be wild. But along those lines, and talking about the Democrats, on the way over here, George, I was telling you, I heard about a story. This is brand new. Okay, so do you follow OAN? One America News?
No.
Okay, they really are good. They do stuff like old fashioned, like check out stories and give good. If you keep pace with our Facebook site, Chips and Salsa Show site, I try to every week. Sometimes I miss it, but Liz Wheeler is on there, and she always does like, here's 5 stories that you missed this week that the regular media won't post. Well, anyway, One American News has a story. Check this out, George. Paul Pelosi Jr., so this is Nancy Pelosi, Speaker Pelosi's son, right, is under scrutiny for corruption. It's Ukrainian corruption. So here we go.
I wouldn't doubt it. There's a lot of stuff that's happened in Ukraine that the Democrats want never revealed, and it may come out this year. Who knows? A lot of deep state bad stuff it's going to come out, and there may be some Republicans involved. Who knows? But we will tell you the truth as it comes out. And right now,
Still trying to drain that swamp. It's a big swamp.
Our president is doing a good job. Our president is trying the best, and he's coming up against a media that's totally anti-Trump, and they've said at meetings, that they were gonna, they've told their people, especially CNN, don't, keep up the battle against Trump, and that's wrong because he is our elected leader, our elected president, whether you like him or not. When Obama was president, I respected him for the office he held. I didn't like his views, I didn't like his style of running the nation, but I respected him as president. He was.
Yeah, I think you and I could agree that if Obama, while he was president, if he walked into the room and stuff, we would give him the respect due the presidency of the United States.
That's right. I wouldn't
as much as we didn't care for his policies and many things that he did, he was still our president. I never said he's not my president.
Exactly.
He is. I didn't vote for him, but he was still our president.
Republicans have always been that way. Now, what they've done to Trump for these 3 years is ridiculous. It's unheard of, and it's wrong. And he will win by a landslide. I predict that. And you can take that.
You heard it here, folks, from Don Jorge.
You can take that to the bank. You can see it all around you. People aren't afraid to wear their Trump hats now. They're not afraid to wear
tell you a story.
Shirts.
I might have told you this story already, but this is so cool. So this weekend that passed, I'm having lunch in Mesa. I'm sitting there with my niece and my great niece, Super Sarah, and we're sitting kind of by the door to the outside. We're at a super salad, and these two senior citizens, I'll say, they're walking out. I notice they have red hats, so I look up, and one has a MAGA hat, okay, and the other one has Trump 2020. So I'm like, oh, cool, and I'm shouting like this, my soft voice, I like your hats. I like your hats. They don't hear me. So as they leave to go out, I told the girls, I said, I should go out there and take a picture. But I didn't want to spook them because, people are spooked. But it was so cool. They were just wearing their hats, all cool and everything. And nobody was bothering them. This is Mesa, which tends to be more conservative. And then I have another story. In fact, George, I was talking to you hands-free, driving into work today. And I'm like, oh, George, hang on. I pulled up to a stop. And the car that was in front of me had 2 bumper stickers. And one bumper sticker had Hillary for president or one of those or something like that. And then it had $1 million reward for information on collusion or something. It's really funny. So I'm telling the guy, I'm kind of waving to him, you got to be careful today. I was like giving him a thumbs up. And he rolled his window down. I rolled my window down. And he had a beanie with a Navy on. And I'm like, hey, I like your bumper stickers. Trump 2020. And he's like, yeah. So, that was, and that's just, it has barely started. That's a great way to start the new year, don't you think?
I've had people that when I have my Trump hat, they go, nice hat. Before they weren't doing that. And so I'm starting to see more and more people coming out,
they're coming out
of the closet. And it's a good thing to see. People are starting to believe that Trump is doing good. Whether they reelect him or not, whether they're on board to reelect him, they believe he's doing good, and he's going to win by a landslide. I think they will elect him, those that are doing that. I think people are sick and tired of listening to this false narrative that the Democrats are trying to push on us, and it's going to stop. It's going to stop, and we're going to. I want to say one word. They had an earthquake in Puerto Rico, 6.0. We don't know the casualties yet, but that's coming in the news. It just
and our friend Ruben Obed's trying to keep us posted on that.
So we'll post you up on that.
Will you post us up on that? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We'll post it on our page. Updates. Also, I hope everybody had a happy New Year. And
happy New Year, everybody.
There were a lot of accidents and stuff, but I hope everybody, the Chips and Salsa family and your family, have had a great happy New Year. Going into the new year, this is going to be a great year for all of our listeners and all of our friends.
And George, I wanted to say, so I went to the Chips and Salsa Facebook site where you can watch our show. Okay, maybe you're on YouTube, watching us on YouTube. You can go to the Chips and Salsa Facebook page. We got some comments, including a big shout out to one of our original partners of the Chips and Salsa show. In fact, the guy that actually thought up the name for Chips and Salsa, Martin Gonzalez. Hey, Martin, how you doing?
our
Chilibing.
friend and partner, Martin
He's
Gonzalez.
also this. He came up with this term too. He's just got a great mind. Mi amigo, our amigo in salsa.
Our amigo in salsa.
Right on. We're hoping to try to get him on the show here soon. He's a busy guy, but you know what? He's got an open invitation. He'll be coming soon. Also, want to say hi to, let's see, Teresa Navarro. Hello from Chicago. Love you guys. Thank you. Hey, hi Chicago. Right on. And Laura Basurto. Happy New Year, Laura. And let's see, Virginia Gina Ortiz. Related to you?
Nope.
No, really?
Oh, Virginia?
Virginia Gina Ortiz.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you. Oops, I almost forgot.
What's up?
So, yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing the show.
And remember, next week is at 5 o'clock, so our East Coast listeners are going to come on board on Facebook talking to us too. So we have listeners all over the country, and our followers are many, many, many. So it's going to grow. This year is going to be a fantastic year for I call it your Chips and Salsa show, because we do this for our listeners. We do this to inform you and to have fun while we're doing it, because we have some.
We have a lot
guests.
of fun. And we're going to bring back the cocotazos and the whole enchiladas.
Yeah, starting
and
next
George,
week.
tell us what a cocotazo
A
is.
cocotazo is when you say something bad and your mom just hits you in the back of your head, like, hey, kind of wake you up, saying, you just said something, bad, or you did something stupid.
The Mexican version is the chanclazo,
They
which
just
I
take
never got hit with a
They take
chancla.
that chancla and they swirl it at you, and the grandmothers got pretty good at it. They had pretty good aim, and you didn't want to hit.
Did you ever get one? No, you're Puerto Rican.
No, we just got.
But you got the cocotazo.
Yeah.
And I never got a chanclazo. I always make a joke about my dad's
I
belt.
got a lot of bumps in the head because I was a little ornery kid, but hey.
And then, of
We
course,
all
the
are.
whole enchilada is we get good stories too. We reward positive behavior.
Yeah,
Before we get into the big whole enchilada of the week, though, George, I do not want to forget. I want to mention the other story that I told you about, and I showed you the video. But I thought this was a fake story. I'm on Facebook yesterday, and they're like, "Oh, the Pope got mad." I'm like, "What the heck happened?" So I'm sure all of you have already seen it. If you haven't, I think I posted it on our Facebook site. But the Pope evidently, he got mad at somebody. And if you watch it, he's there shaking hands with everybody. He is the Pope. And some lady kind of grabbed him and pulled him. And it shocked him, okay? I'll give him that. It was shocked you. You don't like to be pulled and grabbed, right? But he turned around and he slaps the gal
Yeah, it's very
on the hand.
unpopely.
Unpopely. Yeah, it was very unpopely. It wasn't very
Yeah.
Christ-like.
You know,
I'm sorry to say.
He's supposed to be our representation of
He's the Holy See.
the Holy Father, and I don't think Jesus would have done that. I think he would have just pushed the lady back.
And he has apologized. Okay, he has apologized, but
I think it was just a reaction.
we're like, what the heck?
But he was like a dad. Get your hands off of me.
It was, and he got mad. You could tell he got mad. So, be careful out there if you're going to go meet the Pope sometime. And
Don't
these are
grab his
we're
arm.
two Catholics, okay? We're two Catholics.
But
So
you wouldn't do it as a Catholic, and out of respect for the Pope, you wouldn't grab him. That's just something you don't do.
I think she just got real. If you watch the video, she was just there like waiting, hoping to talk to him. And then right when he was right there with her, he turned away, and I think she's like, "Oh, please," She got too excited too.
But out of respect, it's like if you were to see a holy person like Jesus, you wouldn't reach out to touch him. It's just not, unless he wanted you to reach out. If people, all.
I don't know.
reach
You
out
could
and-
be overcome with emotion and do
Yeah.
that.
But
It could happen.
but
Still, it was kind of an
you know,
uncomfortable, awkward situation. It was.
yeah, 'cause,
But I thought it was a fake story. I really
no,
did.
I
and then
believed it.
I had to go look at the video. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna find like an SNL skit or something with a guy dressed up like the Pope, hitting, slapping somebody in the face or something. But no, it was a true story. And I believe I did post that up on our Facebook site, which I encourage you follow the Facebook site. I try to put stories, and I think George is gonna get active again. This is the hardest working man in Arizona. I say he just worked 19-hour shift the other night, but you're gonna start adding more stuff to it, right?
Oh yeah.
Be more active.
This is 2020. I have to concentrate on the people, concentrate on our president, and concentrate on winning this election year. Not only our president, but our congressmen, our senators, everybody running on the Republican ticket. We have to concentrate on giving them our support, and I'm gonna do my best to do it. And you'll see by the guests we have, we're gonna be
Got some great guests coming up.
promoting a lot of good guests. We've invited Senator Martha McSally on our program. Hopefully she'll come on our show. Again, we're at the People's House, so she's been here before. She's been on here at the People's House.
Incidentally, George,
But it's her choice. You know,
we have an open invitation. If you're a Republican candidate, you filed, you're a legitimate Republican candidate, contact us, because especially when we do our show on Thursday here at ACGOP, we want to help promote Republican candidates. In fact, what I wanted to do too, I'll just go ahead and tell you, we invited Alan Corwin to come on our show. And Alan Corwin is he likes to call himself a Second Amendment activist, advocate. And he was going to try to make it, but his dad is 99 years old, World War II vet. And he's kind of tending to him a little bit. And hopefully he's going to be our guest too, because he's still with it. So I told him if he couldn't make it tonight, he'd come another night. But I'd like to go ahead. If Martin, you're still listening or watching us, call my phone and I can have you. I could just hold up the phone like this. We'd love to talk to you because Martin has the gun channel. He's got a gun channel,
right.
And he knows all about this, because that's our next topic we're going to get into and talk about what happened in Texas. Wow, did you watch the video? I'm sure you did, right?
Yeah, the guy who actually defended
Jack Wilson.
He saved 200
He's a hero.
some odd people
Whole
from
enchilada.
from getting shot, and because he was carrying, he was able to take down the shooter. The shooter did shoot 2 people, and they had 2 fatalities, but there could have been a heck of a lot more. This shooter wanted to kill people, a lot of people, and it was because of a brave parishioner that was armed that took him down. And
Well, and it's even more than that,
and what
George.
gets me is our ex-vice president Joe Biden said it was wrong for Texas to have laws. Of
Yeah, they
people
busted
carrying,
him on that video.
and there shouldn't be. I mean, he shouldn't have a say-so on that matter, because if it wasn't for that guy carrying inside the church, there would have been over.
So
who
in
knows
just
how many people shot.
Just to recap that, what had happened previously, Joe Biden, what happened in Texas, this is kind of silly already, but Texas actually had to pass legislation saying, okay, it's all right to bring your firearm into your worship service. And they had to make a law that way. And Joe Biden, when that happened, and the governor signed off on that, and if I have this wrong, correct me, Joe Biden's like, oh no, that's really wrong. You shouldn't, promote firearms in church. And then as you said, that's what saved everything. And this gentleman, our hero, Jack Wilson, if I understand this correctly, George, he was in that church, man. They had their stuff together. He is a firearms instructor, I believe, and he was the head of kind of their security team.
Yep.
So he was. I saw him interviewed. I posted a couple of his interviews up on our Facebook site, and he was telling the reporter, we noticed right away the guy had like a fake beard on, and something was up already.
They were watching him, but they couldn't do nothing until the person acted first. But they were watching. They had eyes on him, which is the right thing to do. You have eyes on the person. You're ready for step 2, which is to take him down if he gets to that point where he actually took a gun out and shot 2 people. They didn't stop and hesitate. They took him out, and it was one individual that did the shooting. And
But Jack Wilson is the one.
yeah,
And he took him out. And he said that whole thing took, 6 seconds? In a matter of 6 seconds.
and it would have taken the cops maybe 15 minutes to get there or something. So there would have
And
been a lot of deaths.
The other thing, George, you and I, as being, we're not in our 20s anymore, unfortunately. Boo on that. Someone who just had a birthday. But I was noticing, I was watching that video, George, and there were a lot of seniors there. And some of them, it's not that easy, First of all, it has to register in your head, there's danger, something's happening. And then you want to duck behind the pew. Some of them were moving a little slow because, you're older. And that's something that you have to be so conscious of. And I also noticed that there were some guys. I know, you're looking at that, we're looking at this. There were a couple of men, and they like got down and ducked, then they got up again, probably to see if they could escape. Am I right? You're the security guy. Is that what they were doing?
Yeah, because your natural inclination is to get up and see where, if it's still safe, or but yeah, the best thing to do is hunker down until you don't hear no more shots. They were in a tough position because they were in the pews and they had their heads down.
Now that's a tricky one. I'm going to ask you, as being a security person. So I'm there, and there's a shooter. So you're down below the pew, but like, wow, how do you know the guy's not coming your way and stuff? Do you wait like there's no shots and you jump up and try to escape? You really have to think about what do you do?
Yeah, you got to be really, you got to hope that somebody's defending you, because you're really defenseless. You're just with a lot of people under the pew, and you're just hoping for the best. I mean, they were lucky they had armed parishioners to protect them, and I think now the way things are going, if other churches did the same thing, I would applaud them, because you have a lot of crazy people out there, copycatters, and people that are sick. They're actually sick mentally, and they just want to do something and go down in glory, and it's not glory, it's actually it's terrible.
St. Mary's Basilica, where I go to mass on Sundays. They do have outside. There's a police officer. So when you go to mass, the police officer is outside, and then once mass starts, he's inside. He or she. Sometimes it's a woman too. And I mean, we didn't used to have that, but we are right in the center of downtown, and it's a little bit rougher down there. And there's been a couple of incidents in the years past. A couple, some guy, remember, he started approaching the front of the church, and so what happened immediately? A couple of the men got up, and he was okay. I think he was just kind of, maybe out of it, and he was pretty harmless. But you just can't be too careful, right?
Right, and the old days churches had what they called ushers. They call ushers that actually stood at the entrance of the churches. Of course, they weren't armed, but if they're armed now,
Well, they're still ushers, but they don't. Yeah.
I feel safe if I go into a church and there's protection for the parishioners. It's sad that it has to be that way, but it's.
Do you know what the law is in Arizona? Can I carry?
I don't know.
We should see.
I know there's
Alan could answer.
We have
that.
a carry.
Martin, call us.
I know there's a right to carry law, a concealed law in Arizona. I don't know about in churches yet. They passed that in Texas, that you can actually carry.
Yeah, but the thing is, it seems silly that you have to pass that, because we have a right to bear arms.
Yeah.
And it seems like, I was listening to some interviews last night, and what in effect they're saying is, oh, okay, we're going to make it legal for you to practice your Second Amendment rights. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy.
It's crazy.
But this was a perfect example. They were videotaping the service, so we have everything, and you see everything happen immediately. One thing, this is interesting to me, George. So right before the show, I'm thinking, oh, what's the name of the guy? I couldn't think of the name of the guy that actually took out the perp. And so I'm looking for it online, and the stories, it didn't really have his name anywhere. It was hard to find the story. So I finally went back to a videotape that I had found on YouTube. It was an interview of him, and I found out his name was Jack Wilson. But that in and of itself, I thought was very fascinating. Where's the media on that, covering those stories?
Well, they're not covering him because they want to cover
exactly
the negative part, which is people shouldn't carry in churches. It's like, I think it helped save a lot of lives.
I think it worked that time. I do want to mention condolences to the families of the two victims, Richard White and Tony Wallace. I wrote those down. So, it's horrible that those poor men are no longer with us. But wow, just looking at that service, it could have been a massacre.
Could have been a lot worse than it was.
Yeah. So I want to move on to another topic, unless you have something more to say about that.
Please do, because
okay.
It's a sad topic.
All right. I also came across this one, So evidently there's a governor, and I should pick up the story, wants to remove the Robert E. Lee statue from the U.S. Capitol. Here we go again. Just take those things down. How dare we have history out there? Did you see that story?
No, not the Robert
Yeah.
Lee.
You know, and it's just another case of let's take down some more history. I just so fixated on this when there are problems on our border, when there are the homeless that need our attention. There's so many other things, crimes of nature. But man, we better make sure we take that statue down. You know.
Yeah, that statue gotta go down.
It's better come down. But so I nominate that for a cocotazo. I think that'd be a good cocotazo. And we're gonna bring those back. We're gonna have the whiteboards.
Yeah,
and have
tomorrow.
them listed.
Next Thursday we'll have the whiteboards up, and we'll have our Super Sarah who'll be helping us with that, and it's gonna be interesting. We're starting next week, really, really good, and it's all for our listeners.
Yeah, because we've missed those. And, you know, we can have, hopefully, like with Super Sarah here, we can have her pay more attention to our Facebook site. Maybe we'll have a voting thing. I don't know if we can set that up. We're learning still things. And I want to give a shout out and thanks also because from time to time, Terry Mendoza is going to try to be joining us on our Tuesday show. And for those of you who follow Terry, he's got thousands and thousands of Twitter followers. She's Terry XDem MAGA. She was a Californian, like you. You were from California.
Yep,
was a Democrat, like you. I was a Democrat too. And she voted for Obama. We did not vote for Obama. But she got kind of messed up on the Obamacare and started paying attention to politics and decided, you know what, I'm a Republican. And she's funny, she's smart, she's sharp. So you'll be seeing her. So shout out to Terry. And hopefully she'll be there next Tuesday for our show with Talk Central Phoenix. And the other gentleman who helps us is
Sid de la Fuente.
De La Fuente, yes, and he is
From
with
Crew.
no, he's with CALO,
Calo, that's
Conservative
right. Calo.
American Latinos Organization,
Yes.
and he's kind of got an open invitation. He comes here from time to time. Another California guy came here and used to be a Democrat also.
Yep.
And he's got a great story. He is a former Marine, right? He's a
Yes.
Marine. And then one more. Also, we also should give shout out to Secret Sonia. Secret Sonia.
Secret Sonia behind the scenes with our YouTube.
Remote.
She helps us with our YouTube behind the scenes, and Sarah's here as the intern that helps us with the filming and everything. So we got two great people, and then sometimes we have Dion comes on board with social media, and we have a pretty good crew.
That's Mrs. Don Jorge, Dion.
Mrs. Don Jorge.
Dion Markham. Yeah, and one more person who helps from time to time is Armin. And
Yeah.
Armin is kind of our world traveler. You know, he's in China sometimes. He's over here. He's a naturalized citizen, and just has a great story. He's a young man. I think he's getting his doctorate in physics. George, do you remember? I think it's physics. Anyway, from time to time, you'll see him on here. We've got great guests. You know who else I want to talk about? Do you follow, George, Conservative Anthony? Do you know who that is?
Conservative Anthony. Nope.
Okay. I came across this guy several months ago. I don't know what side I was on or anything. But this dude, he is so funny. He's awesome. He is based in El Paso. And the way that I found him, he was doing a video with some other people. He happens to be Latino, lives in El Paso, border city. I lived in El Paso for 4 years. And he was on the street, and he had he had a megaphone, and he calls this his megaphone.
His megaphone.
And he was standing on a busy street in El Paso, and he was saying, Trump 2020, Trump 2020. So the cars were passing by. Some of them would give him the finger. And then some would be like, yeah, and he would engage with them. Very friendly, very nice, respectful. He also has a lot of good sense of humor. Well, I found out he's running for Congress. That's Beto's old district.
Really?
So he's going to run for Congress. So while I was in the Las Cruces area during Christmas time, I was going to try to connect with him. And I didn't get to because I had a lot of family to see. Didn't do it.
You know who
But
we
I'm
have
excited
in,
about that.
New Mexico is Lisa.
Leslie.
Leslie White. She used to be the director of the
Before you go there, just a second though. Make sure though, go and follow Conservative Anthony. Go and find him on Facebook. We'll try to post stuff on him because he needs our support. We'll try to get him on the air. Okay, Leslie White, sorry.
Yeah, Leslie White was a director under Dr. Kelly Ward here in Arizona, and she moved and relocated to New Mexico to run the Trump campaign out there, help run the Trump campaign. She's doing great. There's a lot of advancement in New Mexico for the Republican Party, and she's spearheading a lot of stuff going on over there. And thanks for what you're doing, Leslie. We're 100% behind you. And one of these days we'll go out and we'll do the Chips and Salsa show from New Mexico and join Leslie, because we're a good
We
friend.
need to do that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, and it will be fun. And I know she'll have us there in a heartbeat. The other thing is my son's out there in Texas, and they're getting ready to.
Should you give away his location?
Well, he's in Texas. I won't say where. And they're all on alert to be deployed if needed to go and assist in the Middle East if things flare up over there. So a lot of things going on, and I'll have you updates more on my son's what he's doing in Texas. Other than that,
We do have some announcements as well. I was trying to find a story, but I can't find it right now. Oh well, we just do the best we can. Like I say, we're going to have more help, so it'll be a little better, higher caliber show that we're working on. Instead of just me and George here, but we do exist here because we want to give support to the Latinos that are for Trump. Because George, there are a lot of Latinos who are supporting Trump, and
Yes.
independents as well. An independent doesn't. You're not affiliated with any party. You're independent, but there are many people of brown skin, we'll say, who are supporting our president. So we're here to just promote that. I just want to go kind of down my list. I was kind of making a list of stuff. We do have announcements, George. I don't want us to finish
I
without
want to
announcements.
mention that Janet Jackson will have her what is this? Speak with Courage.
Speak with courage. Stand for truth.
Stand for Truth, because she's running for
Arizona House Representative.
the Arizona House, and this is on February the 1st. We'll be announcing it next week. More information. I just have to get more updates on her fund. It's got like I don't know if it's a fundraiser or if it's just a program where she's going to have a bunch of speakers, motivated speakers and stuff. It's going to be great.
Yeah, she's going to have inspirational speakers, multicultural dance troupes, children's choir, recording artists and
event.
authors. And she's also going to have entrepreneurial displays. So, like, if it might be an opportunity if you have a business and want to get a little table there or something, you can. I would give you the location, but the last time I talked to her, she hadn't secured it yet. So I don't want to throw anything
Yeah,
out
so
there
this
yet.
we'll announce it next week for sure, the location, and it'll probably be still February 1st, but we're going to get an update on from her. Maricopa County Elections is having poll worker training, and they'd like you to contact their.
We need Republicans.
We need Republican poll workers. We have poll watchers that you don't get paid for. That you're observing it for the Republican Party, making sure that everything's running in a proper way.
Do they
Those are
pay?
poll
They
work-
pay
those are
some of
poll
them,
work-
right?
Huh?
Some of those are paid.
No, not poll workers, because it's volunteer, and it's a
I
Republican
thought
Party.
poll workers were. You mean poll watchers?
Poll watchers, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and also the Democrats have poll watchers also. So both parties have them. But poll workers, both parties have them, and it should be equal. It should be the same amount of Republicans as Democrats, and we're trying to get Republicans on board that can afford the time to work as a poll worker. It's only 2 days, the day before, the day after, or the day of the election, and they pay you good, and it's a full day's work, and you get paid for doing it. Plus, it's a good service to your community and to your party, because you're representing the Republican Party, even though you're non-political while you're there at the polling place. And I do work for them. I work for them as a troubleshooter, and I.
You get paid though, right?
I get paid, yes.
So George, if you show up and like you say, you should have, you know, the same amount of Republican poll watchers and Democrats.
No,
But
not
if-
poll watchers, just poll workers.
No, but didn't you say there's poll watchers also?
The poll watchers, you could just have one Democrat show up and then, big deal. We would like Republican poll watchers there, but we can't control that. The Republican Party is who controls who goes and observes. That's what they are.
Observers. Okay. But
Poll
there isn't-
workers, it's very important that we have an equal number of Republicans to Democrats.
Okay.
But what's happened in the past is, for some reason, the Democrats seem to get more Democrats showing up as poll workers than Republicans, and you have maybe 3-1, one Republican to 3 Democrats. Once they get the day of the election, they don't have a choice. They got to get whoever they can get, and they got to fill up those polling places with poll workers. So if they can't get Republicans to volunteer to work, then they'll have to ask Democrats if the Democrats have people calling to volunteer. What they try to do is equalize it, but at the last minute, they staff it with whoever they can staff it, and they try to be non-political, but you got
So it's
3
not
Dem-
required to have the
it's
equal
re-
number.
It's required until you don't have a choice. Then you just take who you can get.
Okay. So they try to do it, but if
Yeah.
if they can't do it, they just get who they can.
And my friend Lazario told me that he tries to get Republicans to sign up. It's just sometimes they wait till the last minute. And
Well, my theory also is a lot of Republicans are working. We work, and that's always been the case. We're always working. So I don't know, but we should try. I'm glad that you're talking about it. I wanted to give a shout out to also, Jana Jackson's running for LD28, but our good friend Tatiana Peña is running in my LD, Legislative District 27. She's running for the Arizona State House. She's going to be on. We're going to have her on here in a couple of weeks on the show. Fantastic candidate. If you live in my LD, and that's like the South Mountain area, parts of downtown, Laveen, please support her. She's still taking $5 donations. That's a Clean Elections, and we got to have Robert Branch back on again to talk about clean elections. You can give her a little donation too, or maybe, you know what, maybe you don't even live in Arizona or live in that district. Maybe you know somebody who does, and they could help her. Spread the word. We can help each other. She's a really fantastic candidate. You can find her on Facebook. It's Tatiana, Tatiana Peña, Pena. So I wanted to make sure that I told you about that. Also, last show that we had a really good guest, George. I think you weren't here, but we had Julie Houtman. And Julie is the president of CREW, College Republicans United. A delightful young lady, very sharp. Rick Thomas was here, and he helped us with the show. He was behind the camera. And those guys are rocking for 2020. They're having great guests. They're going to have Michelle Malkin. Michelle Malkin's going to be here. So please watch them. We'll have them on from time to time. I told them please keep me posted with their announcements so we can announce them as well. Any birthdays? Did we skip the birthdays?
I want to say our past chairman Jonathan Lyons had a grandchild, but I can't remember what I read about it. So if he did, congratulations. And also, this is not a birthday, but also congratulations to our past chairman Robert Graham. He got appointed by the president.
Yes.
On something, I forget what it was.
Oh gosh, we'll have to look it up. That's terrible. I saw the appointment.
But he got appointed on a commission. So congratulations to both of those chairmen. One for having a grandchild this late in December, and our past chairman Robert Graham for being appointed by the president on a commission. I want to mention also that Ray Valenzuela is the Director of Election Services and Early Voting. Scott Jarrett is the Director of Elections Day and Emergency Voting. If you'd like to contact them and you wish to work as a poll worker, paid, is 480-372-3713, or go online to Maricopa County Elections Department. And also the dates that you should remember: March the 10th, which they're going to need poll workers. is the jurisdictional election. It's an all-male election, but they do need workers. Also, March the 17th is a presidential preference election where the only Democrats will be able to vote, but that they do need poll workers. August the 4th is the primary election, August the 4th, and November the 3rd is the big one, is the biggie, the general election. So keep in touch, try to volunteer if you can. It's very important. We're going to keep you updated on this each and every week until the election. We need poll workers. We need Republican poll workers that have the time and don't mind making a little bit of money while they do it.
And George, I want to also, this came to my email. So tomorrow night, there's going to be a 2020 kickoff meeting and some training right here at the State Party headquarters at 6:30 p.m. 2020 kickoff meeting. That's being hosted by Cale Ottens. And we have a lot of work to do because we want to keep Arizona red.
What's
So
going to be a training
if you would like to, it's going to be, it's the Trump victory. So if you want to come and learn more about how to, keep Arizona red, and it'll be right here at the headquarters, which is 3501 North 24th Street in Phoenix. So if it's just a little bit north of Osborne, north of Thomas, and I don't know if he wants me to give his phone number, but I'm going to give you his email. How's that? Okay, Cale Ottens, and you can reach Cale at that's C-A-L-E at CALE.Ottens, OTTENS at azgop.org. I'm going to give that out again. That's Cale, CALE.OTTENS at azgop.org. So he's working hard. Cale is a PC in my LD as well. And a really great young man, sharp. So tomorrow, 6:30 p.m., if you can come down here and check it out. Maybe you can't, but know somebody who's interested. Let them know. Do some Trump 2020 training.
So is this given by the Trump re-election committee?
Yes, he's with, I think he's with the Trump Victory campaign, Trump 2020.
So it's the same?
Yeah, Trump Victory. Same deal. And they're all about promoting Trump. You could also just call the party, I think, although I don't know. Sometimes you won't get an answer, but you could call 957-7770, and somebody will probably monitor that. You know what? Let's see if I want to do this. I also wanted to, I always like to do this. Oh, Arizona for Life.
Arizona for Life.
Okay, so March, what am I doing? January 18th. January 18th, Arizona for Life. Join Abby Johnson of the movie Unplanned.
That's going to be good.
She's going to be here. Arizona for Life March and Rally. It's going to be Saturday, January 18th. Gather at 10:30 a.m. downtown Phoenix. I don't know if there's a specific location yet. Have you heard?
No, I haven't.
Okay, we're going to try to find that out for you. But just kind of put that down on your calendar. You can go to azliferally.org for information. We should probably just do that and get that.
She's a great person. She's an author, and she's the author of the movie.
Yeah, it's based on the book by her.
She lived it. She used to work for Planned Parenthood, and she switched over and became an advocate against them. And she's so strong in her belief of anti-abortion now. So she's a great person to listen to. She's got a very good message.
And if you haven't watched that movie still, even if you are not pro-life, I encourage you to watch it. It's Unplanned. And Abby Johnson herself had abortion. She did have an abortion. And it's a powerful story. I just encourage
and she witnessed an abortion that changed her
life.
Thoughts about it, the way they took the baby out and stuff, and it talks about it during the movie, and it's so touching that you come out of it with that feeling that it's a wrong thing to do, especially when the baby's still alive in there.
It's life.
Sad.
You're murdering a life, it's very powerful.
Yes.
I also like to, on the same topic, our good friend Maria Birnbaum. She works for the Susan B. Anthony list, and she is hiring pro-lifers. You can get paid to advance the pro-life cause. All you have to do is 16. If you're 16 years old, you can get a base pay of $12.50 an hour. You go door to door in the community, and you just conduct a simple survey on pro-life issues with Arizona voters. In fact, today I think Arizona minimum wage is now $12, George.
Yep.
Right? It's
$12.
$12. So this is above minimum wage, $12.50.
$12.50.
So like I say, you have to be 16 years or older, able to abide by strict daily reporting requirements, and in harmony with the pro-life mission. So if you're interested, contact our good friend Maria Birnbaum. She's fantastic. She does the training herself.
And not only do you get paid for this, but you'll learn something, and you'll be glad you did this, because you'll learn how to, you learn a lot about abortion.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about what the people are thinking out there. You'll learn about the canvassing. You'll learn about knocking on, approaching people. It's a very good education for young people to do this, because if they want to go and advance towards the Republican Party and do other things for the census or whatever, this is a good start. And they're paying you to do this, $12.50 an hour.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
she
it's
trains
better than
you.
sitting at home doing nothing, or and I don't think you have a set schedule. I think they probably give you a few days, and then you can take another few days off.
I understand it's very flexible.
That's what I mean. It's flexible, so you're not tied to an 8 to 5 job.
Yeah, and you can do it part-time. I think they would like to have people that can do a little bit more than 20 hours. But, give her a call, and you can call Maria at 480-510-8704. So if you live in Arizona, give her a call. You can email her. Again, that number is 480-510-8704. Or email her, Maria, Maria, at sbalistfield.org. So like Susan B. Anthony, Maria at sbalistfield.org. And Maria does the training. So if you're thinking, well, I don't know how to do this, she's going to train you. It's going to be awesome. You can go out in pairs. Like if George and I were retired and had the time, it'd be cool. I would love to do this if I had the time. I think it'd be really neat to do it. He and I could go out in pairs.
You
and
can
we could
interact
go
with the community, with other communities, because you do your community for a while, but then they'll send you out to other communities, and you get to meet neighbors and talk to people, and I think it's a good way to become public, to outreach to the public. That's a good program.
Yes, so please, I encourage you. Maybe you know somebody. This is a great job for a teenager. Also, I meant to put the flyer in front of me, but our good friends at Riders USA, they're going to have their Second Amendment rally on February 15th.
That's going to be good. That's going to be good.
We're going to be there, right?
Yep, we'll probably have a table there, and our cameras will be out there, and we'll be talking to people, interviewing people. So don't be shy. Come on and just come to the rally, because it's a rally that they put on every year, and the speakers are fantastic, and I think you will really enjoy having Riders USA just come out with their motorcycles, and they have the stage all set up, flags everywhere. It's very patriotic.
You've been to one already, right?
Yes.
You went to
It's
one. I still haven't made one.
It's very patriotic, and you'll meet a lot of friends that you already know, and you see a lot. You'll see them there at the rally. So this rally is going to be big. We're going to promote it weekly, so on both of our shows, and so it's going to be great. And by the way, if you want to volunteer to help out on the Chips and Salsa show, we encourage you just to contact us, and you could hold the camera
like I said, that
for
contact us.
You could hold the camera for us. You could interview people for us if we are behind the camera or sitting down. You want to go interview people. There's so much you can do to help out with the Chips and Salsa show, and we encourage you. This is
George, I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people will call me and say, "Hey, how come you're not on Instagram and you're not doing that?" I said, "Well, you know what? We do have an Instagram account, but George and I both work full time, and thank goodness for Secret Sonia and Super Sarah and some of the people that help us. So once in a while we get to do more stuff. But, it's hard for us to keep up with everything. We're going to try our best. We're going to get better this year, I promise.
And we have a Twitter account, but we hardly ever get on it because we don't have people to help us do that. I mean, if you're willing to help, hey,
We'd love to have
come
help.
on board, be a member of our crew, and you'll enjoy it. You get,
George,
you get a,
I can't believe this. We got 4
It's-
minutes. You know what we didn't talk about? Social media and standards.
social media and standards.
Okay, so we have a group page that George started, Friends of the Chips and Salsa Show. And if you follow our show, we'd love to have you on that group. However, it was brought to our attention that sometimes, people are very passionate. And sometimes things are said there and they go a little far. So we just want to let you know, the Chips and Salsa Show, we strive to maintain standards, some good standards, because we don't want to be someone able to say, well, you know what, you had that comment on there and that guy said that. You know what, we love all our chipsters, but we know we get very passionate. So this particular last couple of weeks, I ended up having to hide a comment. I don't like to do that. I will rarely do that because I feel like freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want. But it was brought to my attention from some chipsters that it just went a little too far and they were uncomfortable. So out of respect to them as well, and for us too, and for our show, because they say it's your show, it's our show, it's your show, it's all of us. So we're gonna try to get together.
We don't want to be like the
and let you
Democrats.
know.
We're not hate mongers, and we express our views, we express our feelings, but we don't go to the point of hating people or threatening them, or actually. And this is what that one guy did. He actually encouraged through threat of a.
Well, we don't even have to tell you what it is about it. Just to just kind of be forewarned, and if we're trying to watch it again. It's just George and I sometimes. So I happen to be on vacation, so someone brought it to my attention more than a few people did, and so we took care of it. But going into it, we invite engagement and participation. We love that. We want that, but we do kind of have to watch everything. We don't want. It was a really good point because, later on down the road, and someone says, "Well, you know what? This was on your Facebook site, so weren't you encouraging that?" We don't want to be put in that position.
I've seen Terry Mendoza at rallies where people come up to her and she's trying to explain the Republican view, and the person's like, really outrageous, Trump's the racist, blah 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 blah, and she's very calmly turns it around. And other people, me and Alice, the same thing. When people come up, they may be angry, but we turn that anger around and we explain to them the facts. If they're still angry, it's okay. You have your view, sir. You can walk away, and we can't talk to you. But it's like, I'm not going to threaten somebody because of their views. I'll dislike them, but I'm not going to threaten them, and I'm not going to get into that hate.
We have too much to do. We're Trump 2020 and keep Arizona red and promote the values of the Republican Party.
We're going to win.
And conservatism. So we just wanted to let you know about that. We're going to refine little rules. And like, if you have requested to join the group and we haven't gotten to you yet, we will get to you, I promise. Just please be patient with us because it's just the two of us, and we'll try our best. Okay, George, you got anything else before we sign off?
No, be safe out there. Have a blessed rest of the week. We'll join you again on Tuesday. Be careful out there. Watch the other driver. Don't leave your pets unattended in the vehicle. Don't leave your children unattended in the vehicle because it may not be hot, but still it's wrong. When they're around the pool, watch your kids around water, around the pool. Be a responsible homeowner, a responsible parent, and
drive courteously.
Don't drink and drive.
Drive courteously. You're on the roads a lot. There's some manners.
I see some crazy people out there. Don't drink and drive, and be respectful of other people. And go Trump.
Trump 2020. George, here's to 2020 Chips and Salsa Show. We hope you guac with us this year. Please spread the word, and we really appreciate our chipsters because you are Chips and Salsa Show. Thank you very much for all your support. and we look forward to it. So we're gonna sign off for now. George is walking off the set because he's got to turn off the cameras. So I'm just gonna keep blabbing while he does that. But thanks again, muchas gracias, and guacan. And now we'll say goodbye to Facebook. No, we say goodbye to Facebook. Now we'll say goodbye to YouTube.